Can you combine weightlifting and calisthenics? My hybrid training explained. And I just said the title of the video. Okay, so I'm bulking, lifting heavy, but still training calisthenics. Here's how I'm not losing skill while also growing bigger. So, hey, I'm Tony and you're watching the Average Lifter Experience. I know it's a very, very creative name and came up with it very cunningly. So, without further ado, let's get right into it because I don't really think that you care what else I have to say. Okay. Why did I choose to make this video, not another? Well, it's pretty simple. Many people in the training sphere either choose bodybuilding or calisthenics. It's like a binary choice, and there really aren't that many people who go for both. Then, of course, there's also CrossFit, but I don't really know anything about CrossFit, so I'll just leave that, out of the discussion. So, and even if people choose to do calisthenics, they really aren't sure about bulking and what to do now. So, why do I do both? Well, I decided to combine calisthenics with bodybuilding to get the best of both worlds. So, I do bodybuilding to get a well-rounded, clean, but also big physique. And I do calisthenics to one day be able to do like those cool calisthenics moves that there are, like handstand push-ups and front levers and muscle-ups. We all know what we're talking about. And I think there are a lot of people who would also really like to do the same thing. So I'm here to tell you about that. So let's start with the training split that I have. So my training split is a classic push-pull legs training split, also known as the Arnold style, but with a twist. And this twist is how I blend in the calisthenics with the bodybuilding. So let's start off with push day. Usually on push day you train chest, shoulders and triceps, for everyone who didn't know that. And the main goal of my push day is to build strength and size, but also to have that calisthenics carryover, especially as I'm training right now handstand push-ups, very heavily engaging the shoulders and thus belonging in the push day. So what do I do for chest? I do incline dumbbell bench press, it really hits the upper chest with an insanely great deep stretch. Maybe Dr. Mike, he talks about that really a lot, and I've also felt that is a really good thing when you're trying to grow. Good. Then we have flat dumbbell bench press. It's kind of the same, but it's just more of the total chest mass. So it's like upper, middle, and lower chest. So I think that's great. And then at the end, we have weighted dips, but you can also do chest flies or whatever. Whether that choose dips or weighted dips, obviously depends on how strong you are and how much you weigh. It has really got that extra depth, and it also targets the triceps and lower chest. So now in chest, we have trained the upper chest, the entire chest, and the lower chest. So that's great. Yeah. Why these? Well, because all of them allow for a really deep stretch at the bottom, and that's really where the gains live. Don't cheat the range. If you're doing them half, half wrapping them up, none of that stuff. That's awful. No, it's not awful. It doesn't just destroy your gains, but you could be gaining more, just that teeny little bit. Okay. If you're really feeling hardcore, pause a second at the bottom and you'll feel it. It's insane. Okay. Then moving over to shoulders. For shoulders, we have lateral raises. If you do them with dumbbells, with a machine or with cable, it really doesn't matter, and it's just up to you, whatever feels great. But also, wherever you cheat the least. If you do them with free weights and you just throw the dumbbells up to your sides, not good. I'm just saying like that. Then we have shoulder press. It builds general delt strength. The general shoulders are being developed to get them really big and to prepare for the handstand push-up. So then we do the handstand push-up, which is my current calisthenics goal. It's really got that serious front delt work that you have to put in, and it's really heavily also focused on your technique. That's the thing I'm currently struggling on, so really important that you do that. And also, if you really want to do anything in calisthenics, you just have to look at what you're doing. If you're going to be pressing your body upside down, as you do in the handstand push-up, well, you gotta build that pressing strength. Otherwise, it just won't work. I think that's pretty clear and pretty straightforward. Okay. Also, for everyone that just disregards lateral raises, no one's ever said that some guy's like too wide. It just doesn't exist. Unless you're like 300 pounds on stage, injecting yourself with synthol and blasting the most amount of trend that you've ever seen, which I assume you're not, that has never happened. So just do it. It's very, very important and really gives you that V-taper and great look. Then for the third thing, for the third muscle group that we are training on push day, it's triceps. Triceps I really don't go overboard with. I really just keep it very simple. So I only do cable push downs. You can obviously add more into there, if that's like your thing. You can, if you say, well, I want to have more emphasis on triceps, then just add in like skull crushers or close grip bench presses. Doesn't matter, customize it. I'm not telling you to just copy from me, but get it as an inspiration to combine. Okay. Then pull day. Pull day, for everyone that doesn't know, is just back and biceps mainly. Our main goal here is to build mass, that really huge back, that V-taper, and prepare ourselves for muscle ups and control. Because that's the calisthenic skill that we're trying to build, at least I am. Okay, so for back, we do pull-ups and lat pull-downs for the vertical pulling and really building those lats, those really give you the V-taper. And rows, just of any variation, A rotated row variation is just to keep things fresh and hit different angles, The back is really, really big, and don't train it like it's small. It's really important. So, whether you do dumbbell rows or chest supported rows or seated cable rows, really doesn't matter. But I do about 9 sets every workout, which is a bunch of volume, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It feels good, and I've got a big back. Believe that. Okay, then the calisthenics goal, working towards the muscle up. That's in part, with the lat pull downs, as the muscle up is obviously a very explosive pull up, you might say. Very simplistic. So to add on to that is anything explosive or weighted helps, like weighted pull-ups or dips. Then for biceps, I do incline dumbbell curls. They're insane for the deep stretch. I take like the 8 kilos, maybe you take less, or maybe you take more, okay? And you really just feel your bicep ripping off of your arm. It's amazing. Really gives you the deep stretch and really fatigues you. Not like on a systemic level, but really locally, feels amazing. Then we've got hammer curls, which are insane for forearms and the long head of the biceps, and preacher curls. Preacher curls, obviously do them with a strict form and really lock in that peak contraction. That's amazing, feels great. We all have seen the videos where like people rip off their biceps while doing preacher curls. It happens, so really lock in that strict form and don't take too heavy weight that's not for you. Yeah, I really like curls, and because you only train two muscle groups on pull, you can really also have a bunch of volume on biceps. Okay, well, let's move on to the one thing that no one likes, leg day. It's pure pain, but you gotta get through it, so I'll just tell you. The main goal here is not really building anything calisthenics related, just because I'm not really that deep into it, pistol squats and stuff like that. You can do it, obviously you can switch in if you want to, but yeah. So our main goal is balance, strength, and healthy joints. I've had like cracking knees for like a long time, and ever since I really started training legs a bunch, it just went away, and it feels amazing, and it's the thing that you want. If your legs aren't, cracking and crumbling, do it anyways. You don't want to look dumb. Okay. So for the warm-up / for what you really want to start with is leg curls and leg extensions. Why? Well, it really wakes up the knees for the later really heavy lifts, okay? Now we go into the compound lifts, which would be back squat or deadlifts. Alternate them in between, I don't do both because I just have such high systemic fatigue, your entire body is just getting tired out and it's really intense. So switch them up like every leg day or every 2 leg days. It's up to you. Then we've got the leg press and calf raises. Leg press just feels amazing, you feel like you're dying and you just want to run away from it. Yeah, great thing for building muscle. In general, just a great exercise. Then calf raises. Calves are pretty hard to train, just because they don't really grow that much and they're really resistant to growth. So yeah, what can I say about leg days? Leg days suck, but skipping them is even worse. It's also only an internet joke that you skip them. Don't skip them, okay? Okay. Even if you're not doing pistol squats or planche holds, legs still really matter. Okay. So what is the key takeaway from my workout split? Okay. Don't blindly copy my split. Use it as a base and adjust based on your current strength or calisthenics move you're working on. If you like working on planche holds or something like that, switch that in. That's amazing. Always do that. And what muscle groups you care more about. Now, I don't really care that insanely much about my arms. They look pretty good. I'm fine with that. But as I said with triceps, just do more if you think more is better. Throw in skill training like levers or planche work, wherever it fits, and build something that really works for you personally. Because if you don't want to do handstand push-ups, then why copy my split? Wouldn't make any sense. Okay. Now, let's really get into the bulking while calisthenics. Okay. This is the part that everyone overthinks and everyone gets wrong, okay? Bulking when you're into calisthenics. Like, a lot of people avoid bulking because they're too scared it would mess up their skill, Obviously, if you weigh more, then how do you want to do handstand push-ups? It's magnificently hard to do. And it's true, But you're trying to combine both. So the goal is to gain muscle as fast as possible without completely sacrificing your ability to move your body in space. So how do we do it? It's all about a clean, controlled bulk, okay? It's not a stuff your face and hope for the best type deal. It's just try to gradually add like a half a kilo to a kilo per week, which is like 1 pound to 2 pounds a week. And when you've gained around 7 to 8 kilos, which is like 15 to 18 pounds total, take a break and cut back down. Now, this slow and steady pace means that your strength will go up alongside your weight. So you will still be able to practice your calisthenics skills without sacrificing them too heavily, and also without sacrificing your bodybuilding goals. Because you're trying to get really big and trying to get really aesthetic, but you also want to do cool things. So yeah, that's basically what you want. And once you cut back down, you will be lighter, stronger, and your calisthenics skill will actually feel easier because you just weigh like 7 kilos less than what you did on peak bulk. So now you're much stronger and it'll be easier for you. Okay. Even if you feel a little bit heavier and slower mid-bulk, don't stop practicing the skills, Even if you can do them like only half as good as you could do them when you started, keep doing them. Otherwise you're just going to, kind of lose the skill. Okay. Also, if you drop the weight later, as I said, you're just going to get it back. Okay. Well, if you learned something new or just enjoyed, watching this video, drop a like and hit subscribe. It helps a ton, especially since this is my very first video. If you've got feedback, questions, or just want to insult me, drop it in the comments. I will probably read everything and cry a little. Yes, this is a Dr. Mike reference. Yeah, and if you're into more hybrid training content like this, lifting and calisthenics and in general, everything surrounding training, check out my Instagram. It's down in the description, and yeah, catch you in the next one. Bye.